Guys, so I just wanted to go over this. I saw some of you can't or don't have the AVI extension to change the image format. So I'm going to try to see if I can go through what I've sent you to do the rendering of the images. So I have it in two views right now. I have it on the front view, or you can even have it at the side, and I have it at the perspective view. So I'm going to go to the display render setting, and we make sure that we're on my software here. Sorry, under the common tab. And all right, I think everything else, this was the only thing that we had to change. All right, so here we can choose which camera we want to use. So I'm going to change it to my front. I can also do the perspective as well, but I'm going to change it to the front. And my image frame, the end frame, it needed to be at 70, right? That was one of the things I think the variables I told you to put in. And right here, file output, you give your file a name. Now I am going to name it really short because this is going to be different from doing the AVI. We're going to do individual frames for what's happening below here. So right here we have, this is our key, different keys or timeline, and it's setting individual frames. So the 70 means it's 70 frames individually. So I'm going to call this ball for now, and I'm going to change it to JPEG. Remember, you have to change your background to white or everything is going to look really dark. And I'm going to change it to JPEG because PNG is going to end up cutting out, or unless we have a background behind it, I think JPEG is going to work much better. Okay, so we're going to close, and I'm going to go to render, and I can do render sequence, or I can do batch render. But the link I've sent you, it's based off of the render sequence. So I'm going to select the option, and it's again current camera. I'm going to choose front, and I'm going to do render sequence and close. Oops, I forgot something. So you're actually seeing as it's going through each of the frames what's happening here. See, it's going up. All right, so it's done all 70. This pretty much just gives you a reading of what's happening. Now, I'm going to close this. Now, what I just did there, I'm going to just do it one more time, but I'm not going to put it to run. I'm going to put render sequence again. And we want to make sure that we have an alternative output file location. So like here, you can click on exactly where you want it to go, right? So right now, this is where it went. You can always check what is your directory to where it's going. So I'm going to go to that particular folder. Let's see. Nope, this one I did earlier. So I'm going to go to that particular folder, and it's going to be in documents. So by default, where it takes it is into the temp folder. These are all of, and I forgot to actually change my background to white. This is where you need to do it. So you'll see individual frames, all one. This is where it's changing it all the way to 70. So I'm going to create a folder so I can drag it in, and we'll say ball. And I'm going to select all of my frames. I'm going to drag it in, right? And I'm going to go back to images. So here you've seen I've done a few tests to try and figure this out for y'all. Now, like I said, you have to download an free editing software. So I used the first one in the link that I've sent you called OpenShot Video Editor. And see, OpenShot Video Editor. So you can just try other ones. It does not have to be this one, but the one that I tried. All right, so I'm just going to go through all this hide tutorial. All right, so this is our editor. This is our time frame. Again, it comes with different tracks where you can add audio, you can add images. So we want to get to our images. Now we can import files, right? We can do it that way, or we can also take the files we have in here, select all. I'm going to drag it over here. The thing that happens with this is it's going to ask you for each individual one, and I have 70 frames. So let's hope this does not take too long. All right, so now we're on the last one. We say yes. So the thing with this is we have put in our images or imported our images. It's the same thing as if we went here, import files, and you write your images in. It doesn't give you any names. So I don't even want to assume this is the first one and this is the last one. But what we want to do is there are 5 different tracks here. Now we don't need 5 unless we are adding audio, but I'm going to just delete the track so that it becomes simple. So we have this. I'm going to select all. So all of my frames have been selected, and I'm going to drag it down, and you'll see that has been highlighted on it, right? Those are all the frames, and all of the frames that from 1 to 70 is this amount of space here, right? So right here, we'll see this is 15 seconds. So this is much shorter. We can preview it here, and it gives you an idea of what it is. Now that was only one bounce. So I'm going to take this again and I'm going to drag another one just so we can see it. It's going to look kind of unnatural because it's going to stick in the air. I'm going to pull this back to the front and I'm going to play preview again. Go up in air, right? Once we've done that, we're going to now go to this button here, which is export video. And we're going to click on it. And we want to make sure, so right now by default, it has an MP4, which is fine. And you can also do the AVI as well, but I'm going to leave it at the MP4. I know some of them are a little smaller, but I'm going to have to research that first and see what options I have. And this we leave as is. Now we make sure we save it to a specific directory wherever we want it to go. And I'm going to put it here, okay? And this is going to be called bouncing. You know, you're going to have last, first, bouncing ball. All right, and we're going to export. So it's loading. I'm going to go to that particular folder. I'm going to click done. We're done with that. We're going to go here. I'm going to go to my folder where I have it. And last, first, bouncing ball. When I double click on it, we're going to have a bouncing ball. Now again, based off of how much we've zoomed into it or how much we are further away from it, you can press A to frame in it or go closer to it. Or if you press F, based off of what you have selected, it's going to zoom into that particular object. All right, and that's what you're going to do. Just remember that you needed to change the background. And remember the background, we change it here. So I'm going to close this. Perspec, right? We go to the attribute. Actually, I just closed it. And we want to go to environment and we change it to white. That is weird. I changed mine to white and it still was dark. But that's fine. You got to see um, what it is we needed it to do, right? And because it was in this particular view, again, I can do right here, we can play to see, get an idea of what it looks like. Now I'm on this, the perspective view. So you see that it's bouncing, right? Or I can go on this one and I can do it here as well. So it's not going to do it on both of them. It's only going to show it based off of which viewpoint or viewport that we are on. Okay. So I hope this helps. We're going to go a little more into this. We may change the direction of how we are doing the animation class, but I want you all to learn more animation than only modeling. And we may just cover some more tutorials and exercises this way. We'll see, but we have about 4 more weeks to go. So I will talk to you all to the next class.